everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've been posting some depressing things on social media lately, so I thought I'd lighten it up a bit with a video about being a football wife. And I've been getting all kinds of questions. People want to know what it's like, so I've written them down because I only have 15 minutes to shoot this video and I've already had to reshoot it. And so this is just going to keep me on track. Then I asked Twitter some questions, so I'll do some Q&A after, and then if I didn't get to your question, shoot it in the comment box and I'll try and make another video. So Craig and I didn't live together when we got married. So his first year with the CFL, I was actually living back in Arizona. And so when I moved up, his second year with the Lions, it was just a completely, newly married, getting to know each other, and then just experiencing a full football season just with him. And I don't think I was fully prepared just emotionally for it, because for 6 months of the season, it's just go, go, go. They have games on Thursdays, on Sundays, it just kind of always changes. They're flying out, they're coming back in. They would get in at YVR, which is Vancouver's airport, at like 3 in the morning. They would fly, not commercial, but they would play they had a charter jet, sorry. So I would have to drive all the way there at 3 in the morning and pick him up because they didn't have a lot of parking spots. And so my first year as a football wife was really crazy. I wasn't, I think, prepared for the emotional roller coaster of, they win, they lose, just kind of the ebb and flow of season. Also, after football games, the day after and the next day, they're really sore. So they're not necessarily, depending on if they win or lose, they're not in the best mood, and, navigating all of that. And to be honest, during football season, they're the priority. Their body's the priority, their sleep is the priority, just they are the priority because their body is their job and they need to be well rested, well fed, all of that stuff. So you kind of have to not necessarily put yourself in the back burner a little bit, but kind of. And I don't think I was prepared for that because I'm kind of like a queen. So it took me a little bit to get used to. And also, you can't really plan anything during football season because they do have bye weeks, but they're not necessarily full bye weeks. So for 6 months of the year, it's just pure football, and then there's nothing. And I think that's sometimes hard to get used to, especially money-wise. You make money, and then you have no money coming in from football anyway. So yeah, it's a pretty crazy, football season is pretty crazy. So in terms of just, every week is something different and you never really know, you always have things going on, and then it just ends. And then for the people that stay behind, and live in the place, which there's not many that do, it just kind of, you're here and then all your friends are gone. So, and then in Winnipeg, it's freezing outside, so that's always fun. But yeah, also I wanted to talk a little bit about, as a football wife, you don't, Craig kind of trains at a high intensity with this little machine called the ARP. And he uses it to heal himself, he uses it to train, he uses it for just about everything. And sometimes he had this wrist injury and I had to help him. So this is kind of like a Dr. Ho and a TENS unit, times 100. And it's just all electricity. And so I will throw up the video of me trying to heal him. But what it was, I had one lead on my hand and one lead on his, and he had a finger injury and I had to heal it. And so there's a current going through us. I'll throw up the video now. Oh, I don't feel it anymore. That was great. Okay. Come on. Oh, what did you do? Ow. Ow! Oh my god! Oh, don't move.
Take your hand off of there.
No. Oh my god!
Perfect.
No!
You're
Ow!
only 20. You're such a wimp. No, take your hand off. Move it around. You have to heal me.
Ow! Stop! Ow, I'm sweating. Oh,
fuck me.
Okay, you can stop now. Sure. And Yeah, most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. I've been on this thing plenty of times, and it just, you can't cheat it. It's miserable. But, you know, he's about to go into his 8th year pro, and it's worked for him. So, yeah, sometimes as a football wife, you do what you have to do to keep your husband's body together. And that's actually how I told him I was pregnant the first time. He had the same injury, and he was like, I need you to heal me. Do you not care about me? And I was trying to surprise him in like a happy way. And then I finally was just like, do you want to electrocute your baby? And that's how he found out. It was not very, I guess, romantic or special. Yeah, so the art, good times. Yeah, and so as a football wife, the guys are so disciplined and regimented just because they're at like a higher level. When it comes to like dieting, exercising, there's not really wiggle room with Craig in regards to if I have like excuses. Like he doesn't think like periods are excuses to not like work out, and you know, hormones, you know, you still shouldn't be binging sugar. And it's just because, you know, he's been in football for so long, and that's just what you do. You're just so regimented because you have to be. And so there's not really any, I wouldn't say emotional support, but I would say there's not really empathy when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I mean, honestly, I wish I could be a little more regimented like him. Maybe that's the difference between men and females. I don't know. I'm just not a regimented person, so maybe it's just me. So yeah, and then cooking wise, as just me specifically, my husband is a defensive lineman. He would typically sit at 230 pounds if you were to just eat like a normal human. But, you know, for his position, he needs to be a little heavier. So in the NFL, when I first met him, he was just about to go into his 2nd year with the Panthers, and he was like 290. Yeah, he was a big boy, big sweaty boy. And now in the CFL, he is about 265. And so just before camp, he will gain about 30 pounds, 35 pounds, whatever, just to prepare himself for season. And that means, like, I used to love cooking. I used to make all these fancy meals when we first got married, take hours, and he'd eat it in 2 seconds. Now I don't do it as fancy. I make myself fancy meals, but you know, he'll eat these huge briskets from Costco in 4 days. I used to pump out burgers on this George Foreman. They only held 2. I used to do 60 burgers. It would take me hours, and he'd eat them in like 2 days. So he's just kind of a machine. Our grocery bill is closer to $1,000 during football season for just the 2 of us. It was a lot to get used to, but now I feel like we've kind of got it nailed down. This is, going into our 7th year married, so like our 7th football season, or I guess 6th. It's 6, not 7th. Man, just time is kind of going crazy. So yeah, he's kind of beat the fun out of cooking for me, but you know, I can enjoy that later whenever he's not playing football. So I just suck it up for now. And then I talked a little bit about like when during season there's a ton going on, and then all your friends leave. It's not very fun. But I would say the best part about being a football wife, for one, game day in the prairies. I will say Saskatchewan is awesome too, but I mean, there's nothing like a summer night game in Winnipeg. You know, the sunset's going down, it's like perfect weather, the crowd is just so loud. There's nothing like it, especially when Craig had his 3-sack game against Johnny Manziel. It was awesome. I'll never forget those games, you know, and I'm always with the Big Hills during game day, so it's always just fun with the kids, and just, you know, all the football wives are around each other, and we were in Winnipeg and in BC, and it's just like, it's such a community. It's so great. And you know, seeing my husband get sacks is pretty awesome part of football, and just being a part of the community and seeing fans and saying hi, and it's so awesome. But the worst part, I would say, is the compounding injuries as the season goes on. You know, towards the end of the season, the guys have all types of like nicks and bruises, and you know, not necessarily things torn, but just kind of like they're just banged up. And you know, as the playoff push comes in, Craig's crawling out of bed sounding like he's 90 years old, and they're just like taped and glued together. And I don't think a lot of people really think about that because there's so many games in the CFL, and it takes a toll on their body. And so I'd say that's the worst part. It takes them, I would say, I can only speak for Craig, but it takes him a couple months to get like back to normal in the off season of just not pounding his body constantly. So yeah, I'd say that's the worst part, and maybe the trolls, but whatever. So I had some Q&A questions. I'll answer them. I think the first one was, how do you feel about moving whenever traded and leaving friends and family? I think I've gotten used to getting like moving. I mean, we've only moved twice, but every time a season starts, you have a new family. Like they're your family, and I'm really sad leaving people. Like we have a ton of friends in Vancouver, and I miss our friends in Phoenix, but I think I get really excited by it. I'm a little nervous when we stop playing football, or when he stops playing football, if I'll get bored in one place for a long time. But yeah, I love it. I love getting to know new people. I love exploring new cities. So I haven't found it to be very hard for me at all. Let's see. What's the best and worst part about online interaction with fans? So I love interacting with fans on social media. If you see my Twitter, I love to get to know them and see them in person. So if you ever see me in the store, say hi, don't be shy. I love meeting new people. But the worst part I would say is the trolls, and I'm not very good at not listening and responding back to them. I will learn one day, maybe I'll grow up, I don't know. But if you're gonna talk crap about my husband, I'm gonna call you out on it. Especially you just sitting in your basement and you've maybe played Pop Warner before, and you're just gonna call my husband a scrub. Like, we're gonna have problems. So you can't just be a bully online, and I'm not gonna deal with it. So, and I don't deal with bullies who just talk, I don't know. I guess I'm a bully towards Bo Levi Mitchell. Anyway, aren't we all? And then what's the best and worst about in-person interaction with fans? Again, I love meeting people in person, so I love seeing fans on game day and even away games. But the worst part, I had an experience last season where a fan came and licked my face, and obviously male, he was drunk, knew him from social media, he was really excited, but just don't lick people's face. And yeah, don't lick people's face. Don't touch babies that you don't know. Like, just stop. Don't do that. And then the last question is, do you, as a wife of a player, feel players and their families would benefit more if the league axed the one-year contracts? So this is, in theory, yes. We would all love to know we're going to be in one place, and especially fans buying jerseys. I get that. But the reality of it is every single year is a one-year contract. They're always bringing in new guys. They're always, there's the ratio that comes into play. We dealt with that last year where they pulled a Canadian, they put an American up there, then they had to put a Canadian on the line. And, you just never really know. Your job isn't safe, no matter, how well you perform. And it kind of sucks. I think that was a big shake up for us last year. But Winnipeg was great about it. But at the end of the day, your job is always on the line. The minute you step into camp, no matter who you are, your job is on the line because they have a roster, they have roster cuts, and then they also have the salaries, and they have a cap, and you have to meet that cap. We've seen, right now, Toronto, they signed everybody and their mother, and a lot of those guys are going to have to get cut because they have to hit that cap. And so it is what it is, but in theory, yes, longer contracts would be better, but every year is a one-year contract for families and players, and that's just kind of the reality of it. I think you get a little comfortable whenever you're in the, a 2 to 3 year contract, and you don't think that you're, you go into training camp and you're like, oh crap, my job's on the line. But I think you just get comfortable maybe in the off season thinking, oh, we're going to be here. Oh, we're going to get this money and all this stuff. So yeah, I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. So, all right. If I didn't answer your question, just hit it in the comment box. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll probably do more football videos in the future. So just let me know what you want to see. And thanks for listening. Bye.